Welcome to another video for the SRAD channel. As you can see, it's looking bad up here. We have the bike on the hoist and have to take a look at the engine because the last track day she made some problems and wasn't running fine with a loud knocking noise coming from the engine. As you can see here, cylinder 4 is badly damaged. So right now the cylinder and the cylinder head is not on the bike. It's right here. So this is the damaged part. See, yeah, both exhaust valves are pretty much gone. This is a damage you can't repair. And unfortunately, I think the cylinder has taken some damage as well. Yes, you can see it. Maybe, yeah, let me bring you in. Yeah, you see the marks there. So this is fucked. Anyway, I'm lucky to have another partly assembled engine sitting here. We have a spare cylinder head and a spare cylinder and some pistons lying around. So now it's just a matter of preparing this engine to be fitted into the bike. And while we're doing this, there's one thing I haven't shown you. This is clutch, of course. You see this engine here has the standard SRAD clutch in it, which is with this pressure plate springy thing, not so good. And one upgrade you can do is to change the clutch to a clutch from a TL1000 or SV1000, the earlier ones. This requires some milling being done on the cylinder, on the SRAD clutch basket. But yeah, I show you how to change the clutch today and go into the detail of what you need to do to get a TL1000 clutch fitted in your SRAD. So the first thing we need to do is to take off the original SRAD clutch. And here the first step is to take this spring ring out. This is like one bastard. So get your pliers and maybe some cloth to put some pressure on it so it doesn't go flying everywhere once you have it out. Gently squeeze them together. Pull it out. Yeah, there's a lot of tension in here, so be careful. Then we should be able to remove this plate here. There's a bearing behind it, so don't lose this. And we should be able to take out this plunger. This is what opens the clutch for you. So those parts, put them together so they don't get lost. After that, I need to see for myself. This is the rod that goes through the clutch and is connected to the clutch lever on the other side. And now I think, can you see it? Yeah, here's one big nut in here. I think it's a 32 mil, and this is kind of hard to get out, so I think I will need to use the rattling gun for that. Here we go. Yeah, now we can remove the whole thing. But there's one part we missed. This is rather hard to see, so I try to bring you in and give you a better view of that. Yeah. So now you can see. There are some counterweights on the crankshaft, and those get in the way of removing the clutch. So you see this piece here, this piece of metal down here. This is one of the counterweights for the fourth cylinder, and in order to get the clutch out, we need to turn the engine so that this counterweight is on the other side and clears the way for us to take the clutch out. So in order to turn the engine, I just removed this cover here for the starter, and then it's a 14mm bolt. So now I turned the engine so far that the counterweight from the crankshaft is on the other side, and I'm able to remove the clutch. A bit too far. Okay, maybe it's easier to do it piece by piece. So there's one more thing I forgot to tell you. If you take a look inside here, you see there are 3 Phillips head screws, 1, 2, 3, or JAs or whatever. Those need to go as well. With these 3 little screws, make sure you have like the proper screwdriver to take them out, because they get damaged very, very easily. And then you see how tiny they are. Yeah. So this is really a pain in the arse to do. Shit. And the third one is fucked. So, as you can see, I managed to get all the 3 screws out of there. The third one was quite a job, you see. Won't focus. This one's pretty bad. Anyway, so let's get on with it. Now I should be able to remove all the parts of the clutch. All those discs. Yeah. You can keep those in order, but just zip them with a cable tie or something for later use. Now I have to look for myself what comes next. Should be the inner basket. Yeah. Just made a small groove there. I think that's what is keeping the inner basket from coming out. So I was able to remove the burr on this thing, and now it's as easy as that. which should be the case with your bike. I mean, this is newest engine, of course, and we didn't know what the former owner did to it. So yeah, that's it. Let's put this to the side. And now comes big part. This is there's a bearing inside here, a small needle bearing. It can be kind of tricky to get it out without removing the needle bearing first. So you can pull this out with a bit of effort, and then remove the whole clutch basket. So let's continue. One thing. This is like the only major thing you need to machine in order to fit the TL1000 clutch into the SRAD is the following. So this is the outer clutch basket of the SRAD. This has a much larger gear than the TL1000. So in order to make it work, you will need to fit the internals of the TL1000 clutch into the outer SRAD clutch basket. In order to make them fit, you see this groove over here, like this groove, which goes all the way around. You can see, yeah, you can see. This needs to be machined flat. So this is the old one, which I just pulled out of this bike, and this is a machined one. You see, all the groove is gone, and it's now a flat ring. Here's the old one with the groove. Yes, and here's the new one with the machined surface. You can do this on a lathe, or if you're desperate enough, with a Dremel. We did it on a lathe, which was much easier to do. So, one more thing, when you pull this out of the engine, there's a good possibility that this gear will fall off. This gear sits behind the clutch basket on this ring here. And this is rather important because this is driving the oil pump, which is sitting here. Or is it the water pump? I don't know. One of the two pumps. And this is driven with this gear. And if you are to reassemble the clutch, make sure to fit. Let's see. So it's a bit of a hassle. Yes. Fit it like so. So you have a small ring with no teeth and this ring with the teeth. And the teeth should point towards the clutch basket. This is important so the teeth grab this gear of the pump and drive it when you run the engine. So, this is it. Yeah. Now we can put the new clutch basket in. Here we go. Just sitting there rather loose. And now we grab one of these needle bearings we just pulled out of the engine. This is the one that came with the new clutch basket. And we stick it between the shaft and the basket. Like so. Now we return the clutch basket a bit so it ratchets into the teeth of the crankshaft. So now both of them are connected. There's not much play in there. Nice. Next thing is this washer, which comes with the TL1000 clutch. This sits there, just goes on there. And now we go to the TL1000 internals. This is the TL1000 clutch basket. You see it has like this more like conventional setup with the 5 clutch springs. This is an older TL1000 clutch, the newer one has 6 of those. In contrast to the SRAD's weird flat spring setup. And the most important thing is this boss and dog setup in here. So basically the TL1000 clutch is a simplistic way of doing a slipper clutch. It's not really a slipper clutch, but It handles like the torque things much better. So if you have this clutch fitted onto your bike and you go with high revs into corner, drop 2 gears, the back wheel won't be like dancing as much and giving you problems. So then we take this whole assembly and just drop it in there. By the way, those clutch discs are all TL1000, so Suzuki did a good job of making those compatible to each other. Let's do them one by one. No, not so good. Let's see. Like so. So, now the new clutch basket is on there. The next thing is the main nut to hold everything in place. This one gets 150 Newton meters, which is a lot. So now the nut is secured. We used one of those clutch holders, and with 2 men we got it to 150 Newton meters. Then I put back this small push rod you saw earlier, and now it's just a matter of reassembling everything. So this is the last part of the TL1000 clutch. We have this plunger with the needle bearing, which goes in there. Here's one small washer, the counterpart of the needle bearing. It's to stay. This goes like so. And then we have 5 clutch springs with small screws. And of course each one of those little holes get one of those springs and one of the screws. You can screw them in by hand and then just tighten them down. The thing is, I don't have the workshop manual for the TL1000, so I don't know exactly the torque those 5 ones will be getting, but you kind of can feel it by hand because they hit a solid border, and then you need to stop. Those are in 10, and yeah, that's just more like it. Yeah, it's a nicer clutch. It's has a little bit of slipper clutch abilities, and it's far nicer to ride than the original SRAD clutch. So I hope this was good for you. You learned something. Now we'll finish this up and see you guys later. Thanks for watching.